Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Good evening.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear
please. All
Good
right.
evening, Doc.
Please mute
Nice to
yourself.
put a face
When you
to
are
this
done,
beautiful
mute
voice.
yourself after speaking.
Good evening, sir.
All right. Our president is here with us. We are welcoming you. Our president, welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Okay, you can take over the platform. I want to give you the host, assign the host to you so that you can, after addressing us as the president, you can now give the presenter, the hosts. You cannot make the presenter the host so that he can start teaching us proper. Hello.
Just a moment. Just a moment. Just give me 2 minutes. Let me.
Okay. Dr. Babatunde, you're welcome. I'm seeing you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam. Please, we want to tell people about the association briefly. Then we give the citation of the facilitator before the president takes over.
Okay.
Please
Okay.
make me the host. Let me quickly share this slide and run through all that I have here.
All right.
All right. We are all welcome to this workshop, and I believe that it will be worth the while. We will have value for our time. Briefly, we want to mention network for one job. I'll let you know what we stand for. The African Network for Research and Development, abbreviated as AFRINET for R&D, was established in 2023 to understand and rethink African identity, re-educate and reclaim African intellectual future through research, education, and networking for sustainable development. Our vision is to become a world-class association in relevant research, education, innovation, and networking for meeting Africans' developmental needs. Our mission is to transform African countries from developing countries, so to say, to developed countries, so to say, to attain the status of developed countries, raising developing countries to the status of developed countries. And we are going to achieve this through research, education, and networking. In case you are interested and you feel led to join us, so you are welcome. You can acquire a private chat the secretary to explain to you how you go about being a member of the association. Please bear with me. I may not be able to share the slides for the citation of our amiable facilitator for today. I would like to how for today's workshop. In the next few minutes, to tell us about the facilitator. It's not really a citation, but to some of the things the facilitator has been able to do in research, both in Nigeria, in Africa, and globally. Please, I'm trying to look for.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry. Please, in a minute. Okay, sorry. I have converted the so-called citation to PDF, and I've been looking for it on my gadget here before now. Okay, let me explore an alternative to get the slide just in the next 2 to 3 seconds. Okay. Okay. I'm so sorry for this delay. I'm so sorry. Okay. I think I'm here. It's important to tell you one or two things about the facilitator before the commencement of the workshop. All right. Okay. All right. Professor Ayo Osisanya of the Department of Special Education, Faculty of Education, University of Nigeria. Is a scholar.
Hello, everybody. Can anyone hear me? Hello? Hi. Okay.
Hello,
It seems that
Secretary.
Dr. Asero
We can hear
network.
you. I can hear you.
All right. So while we wait for him to reconnect, please can the president take over the floor while we wait for Dr. Babatunde to reconnect. He has gone up. Hello, President, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Can I hear anyone?
Sir. Yeah, I hear you.
We can hear you, sir.
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Doctor, we can hear you.
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
We can hear you, Doctor.
Okay. Okay, thank you. My name is Vincent Chidindo Asogwa from Department of Agricultural Education, University of Eswatini. I want to use this opportunity to welcome all of you to this first training workshop, skill training workshop on skills in article writing. It is the first of its kind. It is not time to give vote of thanks, but I will just tell us that this workshop is the first one, and we're having this type of turn-up. In total, as at yesterday, we had about 130 persons registered for this workshop. I believe if it is not a network, many of them will join us. And Dr. Cyril has read, if I remember vividly, the philosophy of this association, and we're just starting. You can never know how far you can fly until you extend your wings. Professor Ayo is a well-known researcher and selected among the many to come and handle us on this article writing. So I wish all of us good luck. I wish all of us attentive listening. I am sure that you have all the gadgets around you to make recording. And I believe we are recording what we are saying. And at the end, it will be shared to those who register through the platform. The organizing committee have told us the philosophy of the association and encouraged us to join as we move forward to binding and re-educating Africa for greater nation or region. I wish us success. I wish us good luck as we continue to listen. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Augustine?
Hello, yes, sir.
Yes, I'm done, so you can take up the floor and introduce
Okay.
the guest speaker to. continue.
All right. We welcome everybody to this unique and our first visual workshop for this association. So we welcome Professor Ayo. Prof, sir, you can now take up the floor.
Okay.
You are now the host. You can share your screen to us and start up the training, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, the Secretary. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has perused my CV submitted. And by doing that, I know that I'm not qualified, but you graciously permitted me to take this leading in presentation of in picking up this training workshop. And I believe that the association, which has the global focus of becoming one of the best in our nation and as well in the entire society. I believe that the sky, so to say, is not the limit. So that's my understanding. And as well, I believe that since the association has started, and we know for sure that the association will fly well with the caliber of people that are members of this professional association. So, having said that, I would like to begin, since it is a workshop. It's going to be participatory, sort of. So every one of us will participate in it. So I'm from the University of Ibadan, and like I said, I may not be the best qualified person, but favor found me out to handle this workshop. So the title given is being projected now: fundamental skills in scholarly article writing, which is novel and in a way is global, and as well as it is tool that's required for each and every one of us in academies to possess. So as I begin, number one, the preamble, and as well declaration. Well, declaration, there's no conflict of interest. I am asked to anchor this training workshop, and therefore there's no bias. So under that declaration, no bias. So I know I'm free to take us through this workshop session. And you also permitted to drop in your comments, to raise your questions, then we rub mine together. So to begin, why must we write as academics, or as researchers, or as scholars? It's essential for us to have this focus, or to have this understanding, that why must we write as academics, or researcher, or a scholar? Now, the background that I'm coming from is from the saying, a popular saying in the university where I work, the University of Ibadan, which goes thus: you either publish or perish. You either publish or perish. So the choice is one's to pick whether to publish or to perish. And I know there's no one who is right in his or her senses, or who wants to make impact in life, will choose the side of being perishing. But rather, one will choose the side of making effort to publish. Then to provide answer to why we publish, why do we write? We write to report our findings. We write to publish or report our discoveries. We write to also make known our historical findings, to make known the proceeding. So to make known the proceeding, to make known our findings, and as well to make known our opinions, our ideas, to communicate our facts, to project our figures for others to see, for others to criticize, for others to learn from it, and for others to build on, to be able to make better of the finding. How should we write? How should we write? Then what should we write? Who our target audience is? Who is our target audience? Those we have in mind, channels and medium through which whatever we write could be projected. So these are the questions that we're going to solve as we go through this workshop. I can repeat, what should we write? How should we write it? Our target audience, those we have in mind, channels and medium through which we should communicate. Now, as we need to have the background or the understanding of the essentials. What is writing? Writing is an act or art of communication, making expression in terms of writing letters, arrangement of letters, symbols, codes, and text. These including essays, articles, reports, reviews, messages, monograms, commentaries, proceedings. And in a nutshell, writing is a group of letters or symbols written or put together or marked on a space as a means of communicating our ideas to others. It could be written, it could be printed. This is taken or being backed up by Collins English Dictionary that made us to know that writing could be written, it could be printed, or in whatever form that is being written, as well as in whatever form that is being printed. Writing is a process of using symbols, letters of alphabets, punctuations, and space to communicate thoughts and ideas in a readable form. According to Al-Atab 2020, writing is a required art and philosophy in the academic world. In the teaching and learning parlance, it is the philosophy of the teaching parlance that whosoever that is in the teaching and learning business must imbibe this culture, must embrace this art, must develop through the dynamism of this philosophy. And it's also a veritable tool in communicating out the research findings, our discoveries, historical facts, opinions, positions, and etc. like that, that the list is endless. So what are the purposes of writing? Or why do we write? I want to flash our mind back that we asked this question from the beginning. What should we write? So why do we write? To express our thoughts, to express our opinions, to make known our ideas, to make known our feelings, to make known our facts, to make known our findings, discoveries, proceeding, and etc. like that. So why do we write? To express solution to problems in written forms, so that it will not be what one will forget. It will not be what time and space will wipe off. to educate and impart lives of others, to expand the frontiers of learning, frontiers of research findings, frontiers of historical facts, frontiers of discovery. It's also to make appropriate and accurate documentations of findings, discovery, and facts for future use. And that is where most academic writers or writing leverage upon references to showcase creativity, originality, and novelty. Like, for instance, most of our colleagues from the literary world, they base their writing on creativity, and whether writing from the literary world or from the scientific point of view or from legal framework or artifacts in nature. So it must be original and it must be novel. Also, is to give an account of our stewardship and to make our relevance in life known to others. More importantly, writing to enable one to register one's name in print as a legacy, because after time, a man will exist to live by increase in age, by so many other things like that, through the unwanted 5-letter words, death, D-E-A-T-H, death. So, and there must be a legacy of a particular activity, particular of events of a man in life. And the essence of writing is also focusing on that. Essentials of writing, what we can feature in writing, what we call the features of writing. The writing must be original, it must be novel, it must be innovative, it must be imaginative, it must be understandable, comprehensive, meeting a need as a prescription of solution to identify problems. It must be clear and logical. It must be systematic and sequential in nature because it follows orders and it must follow a prescribed format and pattern. And the list is endless. It must be this, it must be that, it must be this, it must be unique. So it must be creative. So like the list, like I said, is endless. Form of writings, what form should our writing or the writing that we do take? The writing in some cases are informative, just to give information about issues. It could be a descriptive of an event, a descriptive of a process, a description of proceeding, a description of discovery. It could also be a narrative, the narrations of what happened, events, narrations of an account of time and time in space. It could be expository in nature, exposing people to hidden fact, to unknown fact, to unknown figure. It could be persuasive to convince people to seek a particular knowledge. It could be suspensive writing that will keep the reader in suspense. And it could be like the engineering, writing, the computer programming. These are basic mathematical writing that comes in figures and little narration. So then we have of writing. So we have varied of types of writing, and I will talk through this one as we go in succession. Number one that I want to talk about, it is what we call journalistic writing. Journalistic writing is a kind of writing featuring news, reports of activities, events, giving of information, accurate and vivid presentation in print of facts and opinion. It is a written form of non-fiction, vivid descriptions of scene and or events. Like for instance, writing covers events of events, covers meetings, covers happenings, like that. It is a presentation of media, a media content, whether in print or in electronic form. So then the second one that I want to talk about is what is called creative writing. Creative writing is basically imaginative and innovative kind of write-offs. The creative writing often than not keeps the reader in suspense to get interest of the reader as the reader flows through the reading. So the readers will have a developed interest in reading through to the end, reading through to the end of the whether the literature or what have you. Now, creative writing in another way is some of artistic expressions of thoughts, expressions of opinions, expressions of ideas, and novels, as well as short stories that may be of education for the purpose of idea sharing and also for the purpose of learning. So that's about creative writing. Then we now take the third one, which I title educational writing. Educational writing is a form of formal writing, basically teaching and learning is to impart knowledge. The educational is basically to as well as
Hello.
So as we continue, okay, so as we continue, educational writing, like I said, is a kind of formal write-up for teaching and learning purpose, as well as to impart knowledge and to educate people. It is a writing in a specific subject area, writing to cover a specific field or a subject or a specific level of learning, like books, materials that we get for school purposes, for school needs. So these are educational writing. Then we now have another one, which is a bit higher compared to educational writing. This is called academic writing. The academic writing is another type of formal writing for knowledge dissemination, for knowledge sharing, and for teaching and learning purposes. Academic writing, the difference between academic writing and educational writing is that academic writing, often than not, is evidence-based and factual, is objective and non-fiction in nature. Writing based on observation, literature search, reviews, thinking of intellectual capacity of man, intellectual discourse, and contributions of novel ideas or position on a subject. It's always been specific. It's a presentation of facts and figures in form of books, academic texts, reports, book reviews, synthesis, essays, projects, monograph, dissertation, and thesis. These are academic writing, and academic writing can be critical, can be narrative, can be descriptive, have persuasive nature. This one is something that we want to, which is writing is in order of therapy is higher than the academic writer. Is higher than academic writer. So the scholarly writing is another formal writing based on reports of findings, critique of facts, analytical review of academic and educational resource materials. A review that comes as a result of thorough critique of a facts or facts finding or a conduct of a research. It is an evidence-based resource material as a result of research findings, analytical and critical review, as well as observation, because we are considering all aspects of academic endeavor. So we have those from the end of making commentaries, making observations, making historical facts, making educational review, educational critique, and research finding. So scholarly writing must be objective and must be presented in a formal and logical style. And wonderfully enough, it must be free of errors, as well as following an agreed format with the use of relevant resource materials. The academic writing and the scholarly writing, there's a very thin line of demarcation in between. But the only difference is that the scholarly writing comes as a result of evidence-based finding. And it's always leading to scholarly publications. And the publication could appear as books, it could appear as chapters in books, it could appear as literary analysis, it could appear as opinion and position papers, it could appear as research articles, popularly called journal articles. It could appear as commentaries, it could appear as technical reports, historical fact, and narrative of discovery. So it cuts across all. So, like I said, it is not endless. So it's on and on like that. Now, fundamental skills in scholarly article writing. In writing scholarly article, writing your paper, everything you need to know to prepare and write an effective research paper, it's a must for everyone to imbibe. Whosoever that is in the field of academics, whosoever that is in the field of the research, whosoever is in the field of academic input and output, such individual must have a solid background in paper writing skill. And that's why that this feature that is being gotten from Author Services, which is one of the publishing firm that published for Taylor and Francis, indicated that everything one needs to prepare and to write an effective research paper must be obtained, must be possessed. So if one fails to possess everything one needs to do adequate preparation or to adequately prepare, and as well as to write an effective research paper, it means that that paper that will emanate from ill preparation or poor writing can never be regarded as scholarly article writing. Let's go on. Now, number one skill that we need when we're talking about scholarly article writing skills or fundamental skills in scholarly writing. Number one is the subject area skill. In that area of one specialty, one must have a distinguished and demonstrable skills in understanding as well as in knowledge of that specific area or that specific field of study, which is very, very important. The knowledge of that subject area is key and is very, very germane talking about scholarly article writing. The subject area skill is the required knowledge, expertise, competence towards the understanding, towards the use, as well as in the application of conceptual, theoretical, and empirical knowledge in a specific field of study or a subject area. Like I said, it is essential for us to have all ability or skill or capacity or capability to go in line with scholarly article writing. One needs to have a robust knowledge and understanding of the subject. Without having the robust knowledge and understanding of the subject, it shows that one will not be able to come up with a positive scholarly article writing. And to achieve this effectively, one must be grounded in the academic discipline or in that specific subject area or that area of specialization or areas of one specialty. One must have this. So this is number one of the fundamental skill, subject area skill. We move on to the second one. The second one is what I call research mindset. One must have a creative, analytical skill and competence to be able to conduct the research. Because even in making historical facts or in coming up with archaeological discoveries, one must have a research mindset. This research mindset is evidence of a resounding ability towards problem solving, towards formulations of a new order, towards discovery, and as well as making of research output, historical documentation, proceedings, and etc. like that. It's also essential because it will enable one to demonstrate good use of resources and research findings. It's an ability towards the generations or productions of new research findings. One must be curious, one must be critical, one must be analytical in mind. And as well, in this aspect of research mindset, one must have a demonstrable team spirit, what we call collaboration mindset, respect for ethical and philosophical as well as principle of research. And one must also have a demonstrable contributing mindset, the mindset that I need to contribute into the growth, into the development of society. I must contribute into the discovery that will make the society better off. I must look for a way to project solution into the societal problem. The essence of scholarly article writing is to project solution into problems, finding out problems and creating solution to mitigate the problem. So basically, that is what the research is all about. And it then means that whosoever wants to go in line with scholarly article writing must be research minded, must be research focused. Number three of the skill that is quite essential for scholarly article writing is that one must have communication, what we call expressive skill, which might go in line with having good and effective communication skill, because this is very, very germane. This communication expressive skill is very germane in any scholarly writing. Scholarly writing requires active writing. It requires active presentations of facts, active presentations of opinions and ideas, findings and discovery. No one, no reader that want to read something that is passive. So therefore, expressive communication skills in terms of writing must be cultivated. One must have the spirit of straightforwardness, being honest in whatever you write. So don't jump from the beginning, just go to the end. You must go systematically, what I call step-by-step approach. One must be organized in terms of structure. One must be accurate, clear, vivid, and concise. So no one wants to spend time in reading what is not going to be impactful. So therefore, whatever to be put together, title, scholarly writing, must be accurate. It must be detailed in terms of information giving. It must be appropriate in the choice of language. The language that we are going to use, like I would like to remind us that we talked at the beginning, that who are our audience? The audience dictates the choice of language. So if we are putting the scholarly article writing, targeting the category of people, the categories of learners, we must go in line with the standard, or we must go in the culture of the acceptable language that is proper. For instance, now, when one is submitting publication to, let's, for instance, for institutions in United States of America, you must go in line with the choice of their grammar. If you are writing to the basic English European words, you must go in line with their language structure. So this knowledge is very, very vital for scholarly writing. Then one must have mastery of the language that is required. You must be versed in that language. What kind of language that must be adopted or must be utilized? One must avoid misleading or ambiguous statements. Your statement must not be misleading, must be plain. Your statement must not be ambiguous. The statement that you give must be free from error. So, because by the time the error begins to appear from page 1, that will automatically inject into the reader a kind of discouraging spirit, and the reader will not like to go through. So it is very, very important for any scholarly article writing to be error-free. Then we go on number 4. I would like to talk about this one, which I title organizational skill. One must be well organized in one's thought and one presentation. You must be, it's a must for anyone who wants to engage in scholarly writing to be very, very organized. One must be dynamic in the presentation, and one must exhibit the attributes of prolific writing skill. So let the whatever you are putting together, let it connote a comprehensive meaning that will lead to proper understanding, and as well as appropriate applications, as well as the use of it. One must be systematic in arranging one facts, one thoughts, one analysis, one findings, and discovery. That is very, very essential. Then another one, the number 5, is what I title team spirit or collaboration skill, or these two can be blended together, team spirit and collaboration skill. it is very, very essential in writing scholarly article that one must team up with people. It is essential that one must have what is called the culture of not working alone, the culture of team up, the culture of being in a collaborations with others. So, and once one is in collaboration with others, it will bring about respect for whatever that is being published. It will bring a kind of trust. It will bring about confidence, and as well as synergy that, this article written is being done by 2 or 3 people. So if uh, uh, candidate A can work with candidate B and C, now if candidate E, F, G be able to see this, and they have areas of interest in common, so candidate E or F or G can attract candidate A, or candidate B attract candidate G, and they work together. It brings respect, and like I said, it also emphasizes synergy in the work. It's not always worthwhile to be an island to oneself. You are not the only one. There's no one who has monopoly of knowledge, and therefore ideas here and there makes a scholar to be scholar. So, like what we also say to ourselves in the process of learning, we said that we learn from one another. I have to learn from you, and you have to learn from me, and that makes man to be grounded in the subject area. You can't know all. In fact, there's no one who knows it all. So we are to depend on one another. So there's no independent being in terms of scholarly article writing. So this should also be one of the take homes that we should do as we work as scholar. Then another point, number 6, skills, is what I title psychological skills. This is also very, very relevant. Number 6, some psychological skills must be possessed for effective scholarly writing. And I will just mention 3 of these psychological skills that are very, very important and effective in scholarly article writing. Number 1, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, ability to handle critical situations, ability to handle critical situation, because as a scholar or as an academician or as a researcher, it's not that if it happens, it will happen, that you have to be at a critical stage of so many situations. Like for instance, I remember a colleague of mine, just of recent, you understand, working on a project, on a research, and he has to import the reagent from overseas, and the reagent came to the nation Nigeria, and unfortunately, by the practice of this society, the reagent was seized by the custom office. So it took some time for him to get this one. So if one is not having a sound emotional intelligence, it will be difficult for such that individual to manage that time at that time. So he sought for money by himself, and he ordered this thing, the reagent, and the reagent came, and somebody from nowhere, something that is being prepared for, something that is not harmful, that is well labeled for laboratory use, you understand, and they got impounded. And funny enough, he was asked to come and pay some amount of money for it to be released. So the emotional intelligence is required. Then the next one to that is what I call self-regulation. This is a kind of strong emotion to calm down self against frustration, against disappointment, against rejection. Like the case of a colleague that I just mentioned, you understand? Frustration nearly setting, if not because he's able to make use of emotional intelligence and to be well self-regulated. And also in the order of disappointment and rejection, you might have written your article. This is very, very good article. and you send it for publication, and the reviewer send it back to you with a nasty comments. Oh, that what do you think you have done? Oh, this cannot be published by us. It is wishy-washy. It is this, it is that. You understand? So you begin to look at it from the angle that, okay, which one should I consider? Is it the effort? Is it the time? Is it the commitment? Is it the so many things that you have missed? So it is important for us as a scholar to have a psychological skill. Then another one under this psychological skill, it is what I call emotional awareness, ability to pay attention to details, following process, order, and taking responsibility. In some cases, you will discover that having done what you need to do, having put your ideas together, just a comma in a place, just a paragraph in a place, just a choice of a particular word will make mess of the entire work. It could just even be the abstract of that entire work that somebody will look at it and function. Oh, what kind of things it is? So before it goes, you must create time to pay attention to details and to follow it in a process. Like, what do I advise in this order in exhibiting emotional awareness is that when you package whatever you are writing, there's a process that I always use, is a process of incubation. So you incubate it for some time. After a while, your brain will have been relaxed, maybe 2 or 3 days. Then a new ideas will have flew in. Then you go back to it and then you pick it. You might even discover that that thing that you have written that you thought is good, is novel, is jargon, is total rubbish, and you have to begin again. Because I remember that some couple of occasions that will put up article that will conclude that we've done it, and then maybe a month or 2 months later, we just pick it up and let me just read through, and you discover that, oh, I shouldn't be the one who have written this one in the first instance. Oh, what am I thinking about? What I was thinking while putting this one together. Well, I mean, I don't believe that I'm the one. So, but because that you've been able to exhibit emotional awareness, you pay attention to details, then you will also be able to make some corrections. And also to exercise emotional awareness. So it is important for us to follow what is called procedure, be procedural in nature in whatever we do. So following the procedure will enable us to be able to take responsibility of whatever that happens. Then the next one is the ICT skill. This is very, very important. There's no one that is not important. In the recent times, any scholar or any academia, our academics who lack this knowledge of ICT, it shows that he has not started. So the beginning to start is that such individual needs to go and acquire or develop the ICT skill. The ICT skill, basic knowledge of information and communication technology, is needful and germane in any scholarly article writing. This will enable a scholar to generate ideas. It will enable the scholar to share, exchange the idea, and also to store for future use. You should know how to save your writings, maybe through models of Microsoft Word, and you can do a lot of storing in that use, and you save, you call back. It's also important that we need to develop the ability and the power to use software, technical and as well as applications appropriately. This is quite very, very important. Like, for instance, in this global world that we are now, it will be on hard for any academia or any researcher to say that you can't navigate yourself through virtual learning. You understand? It is very, very important. And thank God for the COVID-19 that compulsively force every one of us to be on virtual or hybrid learning. So the knowledge of that application is very, very knowledge is very, very important. ICT skill will help in navigating the research web and as well as the database. Now we have the core skill of ICT. Number one that which is on top from this figure is that one must have what is called desktop publishing skill. Ability to use the keyboard, ability to use the word processing, and ability to use what is called creative publication application. Then we now come to what is called multimedia management. A new media usage like what we are using now, the virtual online classroom, so online meeting, etc., like that. So broadcasting, we must be able to have this on. Then data management. So it is important for us to have a capability or capacity to be able to manipulate our data and as well as to analyze our data, because most time the data that you generated must be interpreted. So, and if one does not have the power or the ability to do this one, it means that the information might be misleading if it is not being well interpreted or well analyzed in the way it should be. Then telecommunication skill, online research and e-learning. It is very, very important for us to have this one. And then again, the last one here is that we must be able to apply the use of technology, data collection and communication. So this ICT skill is helpful in any scholarly article writing. You need this. Most of the time now, the submission and the publications of articles all is done with the use of ICT skill. So you have to register on a platform, submit your article, expect it to be reviewed, and track it online, the stage by stage of the movement of the article, or from the editor to the reviewers, back to the from reviewers to the editors, and come back to the authors, then like that, then to the press. So you can follow, you can track it all. So, but if one lacks this skill, it shows that one will be at the end that is not welcoming. Then number 8 is what is called timing. One needs the skill of appropriate timing. Appropriate timing is required for concept formulation, execution, and as well as collation analysis of data and reporting and publishing. Time is the soul of scholarly article writing. You are to work in line with time. Everything about scholarly article writing comes with time specification. So, you have to work probably, for instance, those who are doing some research in the laboratory, you have to work in line with timing. So you administer drugs to a specimen. There is a time for you to look at it. At what time will you check whether the effect of the drug has begun to manifest? At what time do you increase the dosage? At what time do you record? All this must also be understood and must also be utilized. Another skill that I would like to talk about is what I capture as research methodological skill. This is very, very important. The research methodological skill. So the research methodological skill is important for any individual who wants to engage in scholarly article writing. Now, what do we mean by research methodological skill? Number one is what we call, there should be ability or capability of an academics to be able to do what is called literature search, identifications of gaps or problems, because it is the gap that research is filling. It is the problem that research is solving. So then literature search will enable individual who wants to go into scholarly writing to have to have an identifiable gaps or identifiable problem that it needs to work with. Then methods and materials. What kind of methods should this kind of thinking, should this kind of problem go in line with? What are the materials needed? Then data gathering mechanism or generation. What kind of data gathering mechanism should I adopt or should we require? Data analysis, what kind of data analysis should I go? For instance, now when we're talking about descriptive analysis or descriptive research, so we must be versed with making use of descriptive statistics or descriptive analysis model. When we are talking about other higher level, we must also know what to do. So reports and discussion, how to report our findings, how to record our discovery. It is systematic in nature. It is sequential in nature, and one must have this one. And we also must also need to develop ability to be able to discuss our findings well. Scholarly, in any scholarly article writing, the discussions is based on the facts that support and the facts that is not in line in support. So you now come up to make what is called a position or a recommendation. Then references must also be also understood and also be appropriately utilized. So invariably, the research methodological skills is very, very vital also for one to have. Then we have what is called the knowledge of tools in research. One needs to have skill in the areas of knowledge of tools in research, though in the process of explanation, I've mentioned some of this one. Materials and equipment, you must be able to handle and use the material that you are using appropriately. The equipment you are using, you must be able to know. For instance, a medical doctor now must be able to give injection, must be able to take records of what, you must be able to conduct a diagnosis that will lead to the prognosis and that will help one to be able to make good documentations that will enable one to do the work appropriately. Literature review database, one must be able to navigate through this one. We have the PubMed, the Google Scholar, the ResearchGate, the JustTool, etc., like this. So one must have the knowledge to use this one appropriately. Statistical tools is vital, is key in the scholarly article writing. So one must have this one, whether you want to content analyze or you want to make it inferential, you want to make it descriptive. It is important for one to have the knowledge of these tools. Institutional repository knowledge, which is the archives of the institutions. One must have the knowledge on how to dig into this to bring out the information from the archives and also to be able to save or store into the institutional repository. You must be able to do project management tools. How do you manage this one? What are the tools that are required for one to manage this one? And of recent now, we have the introductions of artificial intelligence. Though, like I said here, that it is what we must not totally depend on because of so many factors. You understand? Popular one among them is what we call a chat GPT of the generated contents. But like I advise, do not rely on this. Do not rely on this. Then you can navigate yourself through the Grammarly, which is the another form of AI writing software for grammatical errors. So this will help you to check the grammatical errors in whatever that you do. Then another skill that is essential under this the tools for research is the fair use tools, what we call the plagiarism tools. We have the AI detection reports that will dictate the utilizations of artificial intelligence. In fact, this one helped me most of the time while going through the projects, the dissertations, and the thesis of students. We will just check through and you discuss some of these the engagement of artificial intelligence, and you point to them. So you can also leverage on Turnitin, which is a software application that you submit the entire article to, and it shows the plagiarism index. So depending on the index that is being acceptable by the institutions or the publishing outfit, that is being determined. Some say it must not be more than 14%, some say more than 23, some say more than 24, but I have not seen one that say more than 30. You understand? So we must leverage on that. GPT-0 is another anti-plagiarism mechanism that we can use. Then originality.ai is another one that one can also leverage on. Then the knowledge of references is another skill that one must have. This requires a development of competence in this one, because one might fall into error of plagiarism if one lack what is called the referencing skill. So, and in this world that we are, so if you don't want to lose your dignity, you don't want to lose your fame, your status, it is important for you to develop what is called referencing skill. You need to be recent and use the most appropriate one in line with the instructions and guidelines given. At the same time, make appropriate citations of the resource material that you make use. Then another one, it is what is called the ethical issues, the ethical skill, that we must be ethical in whatever we do. There are ethics or in scholarly article writing, and this comes as a procedure, considerations of related matters, declarations of conflict of interest, like I declared from the beginning. It is important that I'm not biased in giving this workshop talk. So I declared that from the beginning. So it is necessary for you to have these ethical related issues. Referencing, like I said, you must be able to make good citation, good acknowledgements of the resource materials. Because if this is not done, it means that one is liable, and fortune might be doled out from this one. Appropriate choice of relevant publishing outfit and building of a good culture. You must have culture of integrity, culture of competence, culture of honesty, culture of openness and maturity. And also, it is important for us to also have what is called ethical backing for whatever we do. In so many institutions, we have ethical backing framework. You have to submit the proposal of whatever you want to do to the ethical review committee or ethical unit or ethical section. That they will go through it and they will give you what is called a license to go on for whatever you want to do. Because if this is not obtained, it means that one will not be respected, and one may also be surcharged for what one is doing. Now, considering ethics, so many informations need to also be added. Like for instance, here we have this one is being taken from one of the publishing outfit that publishes for Taylor and Francis Author House. So gave this one on their webpage that you must be clear about the authorship. So who are the authors? You have to be clear. Give detailed information about the authors. We start from their name, their address, how they could be located, So this must also be taken into consideration. They also gave this one for proper understanding. Avoid plagiarism, whether self-plagiarism or other party plagiarism. Avoid this one, because it will make mess of the scholarly article one is launching into the world. Be double check of your data, that your data are original, that your data are novel, that your data are genuine. If your data is find out that the data is not genuine, it make mess of the entire work. Whatever discovery that you are making report, or whatever historical facts that you are making report of, let it be genuine. Then declaring any interest, peradventure that the work is being sponsored through a grant or through any other form of sponsorship, let that be declared. There's no hidden facts. Let all the facts be documented and let it be open. Then one must uphold an ethical standard. There are variety of standards from publishing firm to publishing firm, from one journal to another. Ensure you key into the standard of the one that you have chosen, one at a time. Don't rush yourself so that you will not be guilty of making mockery of one. Then another skill that is important is the choosing of relevant and public outfit. We need a skill in choosing a kind of publication outfit that we must submit to. You understand? What is the relevance of this publication outfit to my area of study? What is the relevance of this journal to my study? For instance, it will be an aberration for one who is working in the areas of engineering and you are not submitting the article that covers literature, or the article that covers mathematics, for instance. So your choice of the publishing outfit must be informed by the choice of the research, must be informed by the choice of the discovery. So we also encourage ourselves that taking this one, you must need to first of all choose a journal that you want to focus. You have done the study, you have come up with the discovery, you have packaged your commentaries, but what do you need now? You need to also choose the aspect that is very, very important to you. Writing your paper comes after the choice of the journal. Making your submission, then be open for peer review, then allocate time, appropriate time for production, and as well as when the article will be published or when the books will be out. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a haste. So let the process be followed. And once you follow the process, it is well and well and well. So references the resource material that enable us to package what we are packaging. So on this note, I want to say thank you for listening. So I also wait for questions. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Prof.
Hello.
Prof, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much.
Hello.
We can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I'm done. So any question?
Look at me. I dropped it. Jump. Go. Stop. Go. No, wait, I want to teach you something.
Hello, Saloma.
Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Stop. Go.
Hello,
Well
sir.
done, sir. I think from my own end, there is no question. But someone were asking if we could hold on the material, sir.
Okay.
I have my end. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Thank you very much for the presentation. And apologies about the background noise because currently in transit. So thank you so much for the presentation. And please, I just want to ask a few questions. Talking about knowledge of the research methods and some of the softwares that the distinguished speaker talked about. Please, will there be, especially for some of us that are just beginner in this journey, I don't know, like to have proper understanding of some of these research methods and everything, how can, I don't know if there's any avenue for mentorship or maybe subsequent classes to be able to cover this. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello.
We can hear you. You can hear you. You just go ahead.
Okay. Okay, sir. So thank you so much. I appreciate that question. That the research methodological skills being mentioned, that for those who are coming up, well, the word of encouragement is that in this era, it is important for us to seek knowledge. And in sourcing for knowledge, the knowledge is not far to us. Some of our colleagues, or even on this platform, I wouldn't be surprised if there are people here who are from research methodology units who can also give some assistance in the areas of exposing some of us who might be interested and having skill in the areas of research. So, but basically, what I will also say is that it is a development that one by himself or herself must go for. You understand? In this era, we have so many training, virtual training on YouTube that you can go for, and most of them are free. That you can get some free training on YouTube. So then also, like I said, you can contact one of your friends to who is versed in that area and see. Then the third one is that like this association, we want to really appreciate them for taking the bull by its own, exposing us into this knowledge. So maybe in the nearest future, in the areas of research can be invited. Though most of the workshop in the areas of research, they are, so to say, time consuming because understanding must be ensured before one moves to the next level. So probably if one wants to talk about how do you conceptualize the concept formulation, that might take maybe about 30 minutes to 1 hour before you talk about concept formulation. Then the design, how do you go about your uh, obtaining information? How do you come back and choose the methodology of in the subsequent meeting? This can be done. So thank you so much.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Sir, looking at your presentation at the introduction, we are able to know the likely do's and don'ts of a scholarly work. But for the young ones that are just starting, sir, what are the likely features of an abstract? Then secondly, is it true that papers that are not used with statistical method are not accepted at the end of the day in the academic world? Thank you, sir.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. I have explained this from the beginning. I will start from that number 2, sir. Now, the number 2 is that by the presentations of this workshop this evening, I try to cover virtually all the areas of academics. I talked about discovery. I talked about proceedings. I talked that's from the philosophy, from the law unit. I talked about historical facts, talking about from classic, from history, like that. Now, we are not saying that scholarly articles that are not particularly based cannot. I remember that at the beginning I said even commentaries, because we have commentary taking some percentage in terms of the rating for the academia. We have letter to editors, which are position papers, which are position statements, which are over evil. These are well recognized and they are well acceptable in the academic world. Not only a scholarly article that are particularly statistically based. So that's clear. Then number 1, the procedure of abstract. Now, there are key 4 areas in terms of abstract writing. Number 1 is the choice of the title. How should you render the title? If the title is not properly rendered, the rendition must be rendered in a way to suggest the framework of the abstract. That's number 1. Number 2, the abstract itself has segments. Segment number 1 in terms of the abstract writing is that it must start from the opening of the opinion or the problem statement or the gaps identified. Then this must be blended up with what has been on ground, probably the reports of what has been done in that area of study that has never covered or provided solution to the problem identified. How will this be done? Then the result. Then the conclusion and recommendation. That segment, that's the item number 2 of the abstract. Item number 3 of the abstract is that there must be generation of keywords that will enable that study to be sourced in terms of literature search. And in most cases, the publication outfit or the journal outfit gives the dictates of this one. Some will say between 3 to 5 keywords. Some will say specifically 4, 5 keywords. But the important things about these keywords is that the keywords must be relevant, must be what once it's been searched from the engine search, it must bring out that publication. This is very, very important. Then the fourth aspect of the abstract is that the abstract has some limited space they occupy. Most cases, the space to be occupied will be specified. Not more than 250 words, not more than 150 words, not more than 400 words. If it happens to be 401 words, it means that abstract will not be accepted because it has gone beyond the specification. So these 4 key areas, these 4 key knowledge must be properly understood. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your responses, sir. So appreciative.
Any other question? Hello, sir. Hello, ma.
Hello, Prof.
Yes, sir. Any other question?
Yes. Mine is just a reaction on the wonderful presentation. And
Thank you so much, sir.
maybe firstly, one would like to thank the president and the committee for organizing such a wonderful presentation and getting such a wonderful speaker to address this issue of scholarly writing. I'm still a new student. I'm still a student, and I'm learning quite a lot with my doctor teaching me these skills, and I'm very grateful for such a presentation. We would be happy though to receive more of such presentations from the organization, and probably this presentation are going to build us to become better writers in the future. Thank you so much, Prof. And it was very wonderful. It was very wonderful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your comments. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Prof, good evening, sir. Thank you so very much. My name is Glory Babuchi, and I have listened to the presentation. In fact, it's a very wonderful presentation, and this is actually what we scholars need in this time around. And I got very interested when you talked about some developing psychological skills. When you mentioned the emotional intelligence and emotional awareness and all that, self-regulation. And if you look at in writing a research, we all need this skill, particularly this psychological skill, because sometimes if you are not in the right frame of mind, you are not even able to come up with appropriate topic. Sometimes the theme of the conference or workshop might be saying a different thing, and then you're having something different in your mind. You're not able to put yourself together to write a good research, because psychologically you are not there. So, but with this awareness that we have now, so for instance, you mentioned when you write a research and is vetted, and then your work comes back to you with some maybe nasty comments, how are you able to absorb those comments? You know, and sometimes when you see some of these comments, it can actually throw someone off balance. But when you become aware of and start developing these skills, it will now help you to accept every comment and then digest it, and then come up with ways of making your work look better and accept any correction further. So I think this presentation this evening has really helped me, and I'm beginning to see research writing in another different dimension altogether. I want to really appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
So thank you so much, my sister. The Lord bless you. So doctors, hope you are good over there. And now, let me just add this to that, because it is necessary for us to say this. We are coming from the background of our experiences. Number one, in African context, a child that we expect to be walking must be standing up and be falling. So that child must be encouraged to keep standing and falling until the child begin to walk and begin to run. So for man to run, even for man to fly, there are rooms for standing up and falling. So, but one needs to be very, very objective with you, Ma, and with others. One needs to have the skill to be balanced, so that in the process of rising and falling, in fact, to my level, last year or 2 years ago, there was one article that I submitted to a journal feed, and it came back with rejection. And what is it? Well, the essence of rejection is that they felt it's an exploratory research, and they felt that rather than making use of differential statistics alone, that there should be incorporation of descriptive statistics. On that ground, it was rejected. That the two should go. There should be descriptive explanation. There should also be inferential explanation. So, but because that one has been able to develop through the phases of rising and falling, so it came. So we look at it from the angle, okay, if I want to resubmit to them, I have to refocus on blending this with the descriptive explanation, so to get generating descriptive statistics and explain, or look elsewhere. So to do it, but one thing that is sure, even the articles that have been rejected, you will find value to repackage it, because they will not just throw it away. They will throw it back to you with some comments. And it is important for one to build on those comments in repackaging. It will make it better. So, but one needs psychological skill to be able to take through this one. So thank you so much. So thank you, everyone. So I believe we have enjoyed.
Hello, who is there? Who is
All right. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. In the absence of any other questions, so I think we have come to the end of the workshop.
Huh?
So thank you, Prof. Thank you, every attendee. Have a wonderful night rest.
Thank you so much. And good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you,
night.
Prof. Thank you so much, Prof, for the wonderful training and exposition.
How is Unilag?
Thank you, Prof. God bless you.
Thank you, Prof. We need more of you.
All right, thank you, Prof. Your teaching has been so educative. I will officially end the Zoom platform. Good night, everybody.
So good night, ma. Thank you so much, ma. I appreciate the invite.